And good evening once again to Race Department RDGP Round 5 at Silverstone this evening. Final round, I must add. And my name is Paul Glover. I'm one half of your commentary team for the final round. Joining me in the commentary box, as ever, is the best co-commentator you could ask for, Peter Lee. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Paul. You're very kind.
Oh well, I do try as the qualified session starts to get ourselves underway. So, Peter and I have been online now since about 8 o'clock, just making sure things are working smoothly, which I think they are this evening. So, that's always a great start for me, especially as I'm controlling things. But we've just been watching the practice session, and viewers might notice there's a little bit of rain about, Peter.
Yeah, the first time we've seen it all season, certainly in RDGPC, and it's certainly made things interesting in practice. And as you can see, the rain currently quite heavy. However, it has been on and off for the last 15 to 20 minutes, so it'll make it interesting, not only in qualifying but also in the race this evening.
Yeah, I mean, there was a previous round, I think it might have been at Interlagos, or actually might have been at Suzuka, where I think there was a chance of rain. So for those that don't know, we are using a real weather system this evening. Also, like I said, this is round 5, so they've had an official practice of 25 minutes. Qualifying now, it starts at 25 minutes, and then they have a 5-minute warm-up, and then they have a warm-up lap, and then tonight, the previous rounds have been a 45-minute race, Peter. Tonight's a 60-minute race. We're expecting they're going to have to pit, aren't they?
Yes, it's been a talking point throughout the season at Suzuka. I think pretty much the entire field did at Zandvoort. None of the field did at Interlagos. A few of the field did, and then the previous round at New Orleans Motorsport Park, we had a few drivers pitting, but most of them didn't. And however, tonight a longer race, so we're going to see pitting, I think.
Yeah, so championship leaders this evening, Dan Long and Christian Marou, are together on, I think my memory serves me, 107 points. I had a little look at the table this morning. Christian Marou unfortunately had an incident in the last race as he was overtaking a backmarker. I don't know if you remember, we were wondering what happened. It turns out he was overtaking a backmarker who made a very bad decision and has had a penalty put upon them, which was 10 points penalty, because they did ruin his race and ruin his chance probably for the win last time out. So that was a decision taken by the stewards after the race last week. So, but it has made things a little bit more interesting. Let's be honest. It's a bit like when you're watching Formula One and a safety car has to come out. That tends to make things more interesting. If anything like Monaco today, it was a bit dull. So because there was no safety car. But yeah, challenges tonight, I guess. I don't know if they're definitely gonna have to pit for fuel, Peter. Not sure about tyres. It all depends on how they treat the car, really.
Yeah, and I mean, in conditions like this, of course, they'll be using the wet weather tyres as well, so I'm not sure on durability of those either, but it's sure to make things interesting. First 4 rounds have been very interesting so far. I don't think we've had a dull moment in any of the races, so I think tonight, with the weather as well thrown into the mix, is going to be even more interesting. And from what the drivers have said, these are difficult cars to handle, not only in the dry, but also even more so in the wet.
Yeah, I can't proclaim to have driven these cars, so yeah, but I was told before the tournament started, or the league, sorry, that they don't want any wet races because they are not great cars to drive in the wet. I guess the thing is as well, like we saw in the practice session, as the cars were coming down, I think Hanger Straight earlier on the kind of the back straight before you come into Stowe. The drivers are coming off the race line onto the wet as the track starts to dry up in places. The weather forecast at the moment is currently wet. The track temperature is 25 degrees and the air temperature is 20, so that the track temperature might drop a little bit, and the chance of rain currently is only 3%, but as you can see currently it is actually raining, so that means absolutely nothing. 3% chance of rain.
Yeah, and I had a quick look at the weather forecast before we came on air, and up until the 15 minutes into the race, it's supposed to be thunderstorms and then light cloud after that. So it may be that we start off wet in the race and then move on to the dry tyres towards the end of the race, and that might be where drivers choose to take on the extra fuel while they change the tyres as well.
So in practice, the fastest lap time was a 2:04, and that was set by Dan Long. It was like just under 2:04 and a half a second there. So it was a 2:44. Currently, we've only done a 2:06, which is Christian Marou. So I think the cars have got a bit more speed in them, but I'm not quite sure, how dry the track was when that was set. But the drivers are. So Brian Bobuska has just got up into second position. I was watching on my screen as well. Leslie Burnage went third, then Craig Patterson went third, pushed it down. Anders Jensen moved up into fifth, and then Eric Ogverk has just moved into P6. So I think there's still a lot of the order to go. It's only been a few minutes, and we got just under 20 minutes of qualifying to go. And I mean, I love Silverstone. I actually quite like the new layout. Are you a fan?
I think it's a mixed one for me, because I like the changes they've done, but the problem for me is it was an okay track to begin with. It's not like it's made it any better to me. It's only made it slightly longer, which I think was the aim. However, it's not made it significantly better for racing.
Yeah, I think the new pit complex is a huge improvement after over what it was previously. And it's kept some of the characteristics of the old circuit, but it introduced some new challenges for me and kind of modernised it. I think it needed it. Someone that's been there, definitely needed some modernisation. As we're currently looking at Eric Ogverk, who's currently dropped down now to P7. Paulie O'Honan has just moved up into P6. Paulie O'Honan a couple of times now has done well on the. Wasn't it on the fuel saving? Wasn't it? No, was it him?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Won it into
My memory serves me right for once.
Yep.
And he did it last time out as well. He didn't get the win, of course, but the previous round, at round 3, he surprised everybody, didn't he, in Interlagos?
Yeah, he did, and he became the third different winner in 3 races. After Dan Long won at Suzuka, Tobias Rona won at Zandvoort, and then he took the spoils at Interlagos, and then of course Dan Long beat Christian Marou in the last couple of laps to win at the previous round at Nola. So possibly we might see a 4th different winner here. A few drivers have looked very close, Craig Patterson being one of them, and Brian Van Booskamon, Anders Meur. Quite a few drivers up at the top that could challenge for the win if the strategy works out for them. And it looks like it's dry now on track.
Yeah. Well, also the thing is, viewers may notice, and I don't know if you're regular R Factor 2 users, but I'm not particularly. I do have the game, and I just want to say thanks for the follow, Mickey Cappuccino. Is that when you're on board with the drivers, it doesn't show you any rain, Peter. But when you do the track view, and as I switch back to the track view, you're right. It's now stopped. So we're hoping that the times will start to drop.
Yeah, I should think now, if you want to make a lap time, now should be the chance, and drivers who are starting lap times right now will have the best of it, as Paulie O'Honan jumps up to 5th position there with 2:07.9.
Yeah. There's only a couple of cars in the garage currently, so the rest of the field are out. I noticed that some of the drivers haven't set times yet, such as Carl Little, Magnus Sternby, Christoph Madge, Lorenzo Bonna, Daniel Watkin, Yuri Kasdorp, Tobias Rona and Charles Bacchio. So yeah, we didn't have that many drivers in practice, did we? We now seem to have more drivers. So we had 19 on the practice session, and it seems that a couple of more have either just sat and ignored practice and joined for quali. So fantastic though, as Joseph Wright goes up into P5 and pushes Paulie O'Honan down to P6.
Yeah, he looked strong in practice. He was 5th fastest with a 2:05 in that session, and looked to be setting consistent lap times.
His skin hasn't loaded for me. His car's grey, unless he's changed skin.
Oh yeah, of course. He did enter and leave the race, so perhaps that's part of it. But of
he's
course,
got something on the car. I can see some logos on the bottom of the car, but yeah, definitely not the usual skin we like to see him in. He's normally in like an old Williams type as he goes straight off the track there. Probably felt under pressure because we're watching him. Let's take a look at Lorenzo Bodnar, currently in P12. You can see on the track, see the thing, I think the track's a bit misleading. Sometimes you can't really see the dry and white line on this game either, I find, on the view, because I think a lot of the track has this kind of look that could potentially mean it's wet. When I logged on the server a few rounds ago, I said to Joseph Wright, it's one of the organisers, oh, the track's wet. He's like, no, just the way it looks. I'm like, all right, okay, brilliant. Craig Patson, he's got P4th. He's currently in the pits and starts to come out now. So he's just done a lap, and a few other drivers doing the same. Yuri Kuzdorp has just gone up to P10. Christian Maru is still your fastest man with 206.1. And the next driver down, which is currently Brian Van Buskum, is 600 of a second off. So I think Brian might be out there right now, just in the sectors. Just going to have a look. He's done a 34.6 in the first. I think Dan Long's just set the fastest first sector, 31.9. So I think let's go and keep an eye on Dan then, as he's going through the. Oh, actually, he's coming around to complete a lap. Actually, my timing screen's obviously a little bit slow. It does not give me sectors 2 or 3.
No, he's coming on the old start and finish straight.
Oh, he is, isn't he? Of course, yeah. Blimey, yeah.
He's still at the old wing.
Blimey O'Reilly, yeah. You're right. I love that corner. That corner I find quite. You could easily run wide there, can't you? Mhm. And that's Corpse, isn't it? I think. And then you can cut it to Maggots and Beckett's. This is where these cars will be in their element through this section.
Yes,
and it's important you get, you want to, on the final on the Beckett's, you want to get the apex. It's really important to give you the best run down onto Hanger Straight. So this is like the old part of the circuit, which I love. Bit of a favourite of mine. I've played it for many years on the old F1 games, and still to this day I'm a big fan of. The infrastructure of Silverstone could be better, like getting in and out. It took me 3 hours to get out in 2009, out the car park, that is. Manic it was. But nevertheless, still a great track with a lot of history. And would you believe used to be an RAF airport, I believe, in where the planes used to land in the World Wars and that. So.
Yeah, it was built for the war efforts, and
that's right.
Then they decided to go racing on it, as with so many other circuits. Croft.
Look at that!
That's a big slide.
That's a rally. Yeah, that's a rally car there. Yeah.
Croft, Thruxton.
Oh, so Christian Maru has gone fast now with 205.9. So we've broken the 206. We've gone below the 206 barrier. So good signs that the track is drying out. 12 minutes 45 seconds remain on the clock as we're currently looking at Dan Long. Yeah, who's currently in P2. So. And the two guys who are battling out for the championship are heading the leaderboard currently.
Yes, and they have done for the last couple of rounds. Nola in particular, they were up there at the top with... What's he called? Who was it? Yeah, who was it that joined us for the previous round? My memories escape me. And then had some technical difficulties, I believe.
don't ask for help from me. My brain has technical failures every 5 seconds. Are you talking about the driver that dropped out because his kid sat in his lap? Or you?
No. At Nola, he was a wild card, qualified second.
Oh, yes.
And then lagged out.
He's not here, is he? Yes,
no,
that's
he's not.
Right. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. We should really know this. You know, as commentators, you would expect that we do our research, but no, we've got lives, and we jump on at the last minute, and it shows. Doesn't it? I've got no idea who that driver was. Yeah. I'm having a look at the sign-up list now to try and work it out. No, I've got no idea. No. Yeah, I've got no idea. The name's not standing out to me. Yeah, who cares? They're not here. Right. How are we doing for time? 11, just over 11 minutes.
Anders Mer's putting a good lap time.
Ooh.
Second position.
Oh, very nice, Anders. Yeah, Anders Mer, very nice in the kind of Ferrari skin. I would say that's very Ferrari-like, and it's got the Shell logo on it. By the looks of it, yeah. And constructors.
Yuri Kastorp, that's the one.
That was it. Well done.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I've
had a look back on the race replay.
Good thinking, Batman. I don't think.
Oh, he is here. Sorry, he's in 7th.
Oh, blimey! Right. I think we should go home, Peter. I think we should,
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. We are at home.
So currently, Charles Bacchio is in 3rd for Talking Door Racing 2 with 98 points, and then the next guy on 90 points is Craig Patterson, who last 2 races looked really strong.
Yeah, he's got better and better all season. Outside the top 10 at Suzuka, but inside the top 10 at Zandvoort, and then 2 podiums on the bounce at Interlagos and Nola.
Yeah, so he'll be feeling quietly confident he could get that 3rd spot, I think, off Charles Bacchio, who's Charles Bacchio currently is 11th in qualifying. So yeah, I'd suspect he'd be rubbing his little hands together, thinking that 3rd spot could be mine if I keep it nice and clean this evening.
Yeah, definitely. He's in with a shouting chance of that point, but Paulie Honen's also quite close to him. So if any of those drivers have a slip up in the pit lane or on track, then Paulie Honen could pick up the pieces and get up to 3rd position.
Currently, Joseph Wright, one of the organisers, is in 7th, but the other race organiser tonight is Matt Legale, P22 currently.
Yeah, unlike Matt, very unlike Matt. Because of course he was on pole position.
Only done 2 laps though, to be fair to him, so that might have something to do with it. So, you know, Christian Maru's done 8 and Matt Legale's done 2. Maybe he was waiting for the weather. Maybe he knew it was going to dry up. So currently it's saying 0% chance of rain on my screen.
Yep, I'd agree with that, considering it's not raining.
Thanks, Peter.
But yeah,
great chat.
I was just confirming it.
Cole Little's only done 3 laps as well, so a lot of the drivers have done anywhere between 8 to 6, majority of them. So yeah, Cole Little, Matt Legale, and actually Christoph Madge has only done 1 lap. So I'd expect those 3 to move up the tables as well. Can't predict how high, but they're definitely going to move up the leaderboard. With time to go, 8 minutes of fact, just over 8 minutes remaining now, Peter. Do we start talking about who's going to win tonight? Oh, it's raining again on my screen, Peter. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's making you look silly, isn't it?
It's making your weather forecast look silly as well. But yes,
it's now saying 1% chance of rain. You know, it's like, that's not how it works. Now it's saying 2%. That's not how it works. You're supposed to tell me before it rains, not when it rains and then change the percentage on me. Yeah. Oh, blimey. Yeah. Joseph Wright coming in 8th, coming in the top 10. But like I say, with those other 3 drivers I just mentioned, no offence to Mr. Wright, but I'm not expecting him to stay there. I'm expecting the other guys to clamber up the leaderboard. Already, Matt Legale has already gained a couple. He's up into 18th. So as we watch him at the moment.
Look at Yuri Kasdor, the driver we couldn't remember.
Oh wow!
Up into the lead by 8/10 of a second, and with the weather like this, that could stay.
And I tell you what, the fact that it's raining now probably means no one else is going to beat that.
Yep, Tobias Rona goes up the order to 2nd position, but of course the winner at Zandvoort has good form at round 2. Unfortunately, retired from round 1, and then the previous 2 rounds he's finished 6th. But 2nd position here would be a great result, especially with his championship challenge. Trying to beat Brian Van Booskum.
Oh, apparently, so I've just been told that the percentage of rain is how heavy and not a chance of.
Okay.
So it shows what we know.
Sense.
Oh, we should just pack our bags and just go. Yeah. So, good evening to everybody who's joined us this evening for round 5 at Silverstone in the RDGP, as we're looking on Tobias Rona, who's currently in P2. Yuri Kasdorp is currently P1. I don't think Craig Patterson has now went P5. Then Brian Van Booskum knocked him off that. Like I say, I don't think anybody's going to go any faster. My name is Paul Glover, and joining me in the commentary box this evening is Peter Lee. We are the clowns that are taking you through tonight, and we hope you enjoy the racing this evening. It has been some great racing, hasn't it, Peter? It's really been close. You sometimes get a bit of a breakaway between 1st, 2nd and 3rd, but you know the midfield is packed, isn't it?
Yeah, and even at Interlagos we had a 6-way battle for the lead back then.
Yeah, it was immense, wasn't it?
It was immense, yeah. And then
it was immense. And last week, I don't mind telling you, but I was feeling a little bit under the weather as well. But the race kept me going. I felt like I was going to lose my voice at one point, but that was a good race as well. A lot of battles going on. And I think, like I mentioned, for those who weren't at the stream at the beginning, Christian Maru unfortunately had a bit of contact with a back marker last time out, and probably should have won the race. But it has kept the championship a little bit interesting as we watch Brian Bobruscum all 4 wheels off the track. Like I said, it's very easy to go wide there, even more so when it's wet. So Christian Maru is currently in 3rd, Peter.
Yep.
So that's not bad, but it's 800 second down. But I think it's probably because, you can't go any quicker in the wet unless it dries out, and we've only got just under 5 minutes remaining.
And with how long a lap is around here, I mean, the 2-minute plus laps, so you're only going to get 2 or 3 more laps in, so it's going to have to dry out pretty quickly, and for a whole lap, and so far it's been pretty intermittent, this rain, on and off all the time. And his nearest challenger, Dan Long, is in 7th position, so while he may not be right at the front, he's ahead of Dan Long, and for the championship, both of them tied on 107 points. That is all that matters.
The only problem I'd say with being in P7 is you're kind of closer to the mid-pack, and that's where we tend to see the Constantino effects and into the first corner of all the races that we've had so far. And if I was Craig Patterson and Dan Long, I'd be getting a little bit worried you might get collected by somebody behind. So you'd want to try. And it looks like it stopped raining on my screen. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I'm on the Hangar Straight, and it's definitely... Let's go and have a little look around at some other cars so we can see if it's raining anywhere else. But it looks like, yeah, I don't see any
pretty dry
rain. Oh, as Christoph Madge, has gone off the track there.
A little bit of spray.
Yeah, a little bit of spray, but these cars do kick up the rain quite quickly. 3.5 minutes remaining. Could we see this man get knocked off the top spot?
Possibly. If someone's going to have to put a mega lap in, because it seems he's got the pace over everyone in these conditions. I think we've just seen Anders Murr come up to 4th position. Is that? Or is he already there? I think he was already there.
Yeah, it hasn't showed me in the layout. So we've got some drivers now coming out of track, like Magnus Stoinby, Anders Meyer. Oh no, he's gone. Yeah, no, Anders Meyer's just gone. There's a bit of spray there. That's another thing, is that it's the tyre choices as well which come into play here, really, isn't it? It's when do you switch from do these guys have intermediates, or is it just wet and dry? I don't know how it works for these cars.
I'm unsure. I'd be doubtful if they have intermediates. I think it'll just be wet and dry tyres. But
okay, right.
Again,
yeah,
I could
you're
be
probably
wrong.
right. They're more like a Formula 2, aren't they? So, yeah, you're probably right. They probably just do have the 2 compounds.
Especially as they're
it's raining again. Oh, look at that.
Oh. If you ever wanted an epitome of Britain, this is it.
Anybody hoping to gain positions, I think it's going to struggle at this point with 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, ladies and gentlemen, viewers. I think we've got our, there might be a couple of movements behind. Oh, as one of the drivers.
Oh, both of them off. Oh, and Dan Long's retired from his lap.
Well, as a driver there goes off track, and I think that's Tobias Rona. Yeah,
Christian
it is.
Maru.
Yeah, Dan Long went off track.
Oh,
He's now in the pits.
Tobias Rona as well.
Yeah, yeah, he did a bit of a 360 there for us, and off he goes. Like a wounded
One driver
animal.
I'd like to quickly comment on, Henry Drury, having a brilliant qualifying session here in 9th position at the moment.
Yeah, that is good.
Best
that
results,
is good.
so
Joseph Wright still in the top 10. So credit is due to him. He's there. He's thereabouts. Fighting hard in these tough conditions. 1 minute and 22 seconds remaining now. Our driver's now just gonna give up, and no one leaving the pits according to my screen. So let's look at our current pole man, Yuri Kasdorp. I'm gonna presume that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah,
I thought at one point it was Kasdrop, but that's just my eyes playing up on me.
Yep.
As you get older, ladies and gentlemen, it happens. So he's currently our man in pole position with 2:05.1. We haven't quite matched the time set in the practice session before that, which was a 2:04. So nearly a second down on that. So, and that was set by one of the championship leaders in Dan Long. So yeah.
Oh, someone else off the circuit in the background there, Lorenzo Bonda.
Oh yeah, he's now apparently in the pits for me. So
yeah.
Yeah. So.
And Yuri Kazdorp has decided to abandon his lap. Tobias Rona, if he's quick, will get this lap and another one. So. And of course, one of the difficulties with the drivers not being able to see the weather when they're in the car is that they can't see if it's raining or not. So they have to look at their hood to see the levels of precipitation.
Well, that's just mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, when you think about it, that is fundamentally, you know, an error, because you know you do need to know about the weather situation. As Tobias Rona, goes off the track in quite a spectacular fashion. And it's back on the black stuff now, and carries on qualifying. Oh, he's just I think he's did a bit of rallying for us. Thank you for the entertainment there, Tobias Rona. As we kind of bring qualifying to a close, all the guys are now Joseph Wright still out, Kreshnik Khalili, he's still out, Leslie Burlage, who's Joseph Wright's teammate, is still out, Cole Little is still out. I do like that livery, Cole, Mr. Little. Simon Marshall, I like that. I like actually. Oh, as I see a car in the background go off, and I think that was Magnus Stoinby. So just lost his front wing there. Yeah. So the drivers are looking to got a Cole Litter still to complete his lap. So let's go on board with him. He's got his nose reminds me a little bit of Mr. Blobby. This particular livery. I don't know if that's before your time, Peter, Mr. Blobby. I don't know if you know who he might be. But,
Mr. Blobby?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who Mr. Blobby is.
But that's who this car reminds me of him. I know it's not the same colours, but it's just
Carl Little.
On the front.
Yeah, I can see that. If it was pink, definitely.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Would you believe Mr. Blobby did have a #1 hit with Mr. Blobby? So there you go.
Wow.
I think it was a charity.
Balls.
I think it was a charity song, if I remember rightly. I think it might have been for probably children.
Okay.
Yeah. As Cole Little goes into the pits, so he's the final driver, I think. So yeah, that brings. So we'll be looking to head to the warm-up session. This is where we have a 5-minute warm-up session before the start of the race, and because the drivers are greedy, they also get a warm-up lap as well. So, and then we have a standing start. So, just a few reminders about this league. 100% damage. So, that has thrown up quite a few challenges for the drivers, hasn't it, Peter?
It has, yeah. Interlagos was one of the biggest culprits of that. We had, I think, 15 drivers finish out of the 20 odd that started, just due to the 100% damage. We had quite a large crash at the start, and then other drivers throughout the race had issues as well with damage. So that was a big hitter for the drivers at Interlagos. And then, of course, at the previous round, we had all the issues with smoking engines.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. That was interesting, and we spoke about that with the podium drivers, and they kind of explained a little bit about that. And it was because the engine, you could change the settings and potentially push the engine a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
But we didn't see any failures from that, did we? We just saw a bit of Puff the Magic Dragon, so to speak.
Yep, and now we're seeing spray as well. So we've got some more vapour coming out the back of the cars, but this time it's water vapour. And
the intensity of the rain is now up to 5%. So it's increasing with ferocity. Let's hope it doesn't increase too much for the drivers, because that's only going to give the drivers more spray and going to make the things a little bit more challenging. If we go on board with one of the drivers, we'll be able to get an idea of what they're seeing. So currently the spray isn't too bad, but if it gets harder than that, that's going to throw up another challenge in itself.
Yeah. Of course, the drivers can see the speed, they just can't see the rain. So, on board with Yuri Kazdorp here on the back of Christian Moreau as they go down to the cops, and that's a very scary view of just spray.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's wasn't
it's
noticeable during qualifying, was it? And this section here,
no.
As Yuri Kastrop gives the driver ahead of him a little nudge there. In the section just before you got to Beckett's, it was drier and there was hardly any spray coming off at all. So this thing, when you get these large circuits, you get rain in certain sections, don't you? And we see it in F1 all the time, where around half the track it's dry, the other half it's completely opposite. It's puddles, and we might see that this evening. So challenging conditions for the drivers.
Very much so, and just having a quick look at the weather forecast, it doesn't look like it's going to change. Scattered thunderstorms all race long, I should think, so not going to be easy.
No, and it's definitely raining that little bit harder. Like I say, I didn't realise the percentage on our screens was telling us not the chance of rain, but how hard it was raining. This is only 5% rain. God, I would want to see what 100% is like.
No. Wow.
Just makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, last night the thunderstorms that we had in where I live, the rain was if it's based on that, definitely the rain we had last night was at 100% because but it's starting to drop down a little bit. It's dropped down to 3% now, so it's starting to calm down. Maybe the shower might stop. We've got a little bit of time remaining in the warm up. 2 minutes remain. So just put the clock. I didn't realise I had to remove the clock from the screen. So I don't put the time. I don't put the leaderboard up for this. It's just the warm up. So that'll come back for the start of the race. So there's no point. It's not anything. Just trying to understand the drivers, trying to understand the conditions, and also I would imagine a lot of them put the fuel for the racing just to get a feeling of how that feels as well. Because that's what I would do, and just fine tuning your setup. But like we can see, the conditions change from one moment to the next because it's definitely stopped raining now. So and it's 0% on my screen. So the track will be a little bit dry. It'll be interesting to see how they approach the warm-up lap this time round, Peter, compared to the previous rounds where they've been fuel saving.
Yes, it should be interesting, especially considering they don't have to save as much for this race because they do have to make a pit stop. There's no way about it unless we have another Pole Honan and someone magically manages to last an hour on a tank of fuel, which I think is very unlikely. Yeah. To the questions in the chat around are the drivers on slick and are they all the same tread? No, there are wet tyres. If Paul jumps on board with Eric Ockverk, who's in the pit lane, you'll see the treaded tyres on the car.
Put me under pressure. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. There
Whereas if you look at other drivers who are on circuit, there are slick tyres.
There you go. Back on board with Tobias Rona. So, as he goes off track.
But yes, most drivers seem to be on slick tyres. Not sure what the crossover period is.
No, let's have a flick through. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Brian Members, he's on. He's got tread.
Yeah.
So this will be the wet tyre, won't it? Because it's tread.
Yeah,
so,
that's correct.
Yeah. See, I know what I'm talking about, guys. Don't believe what you hear.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, the knowledge that I've got. The knowledge that I've acquired over years of watching Formula One and everything else. Yeah. Unbelievable.
You know, Mr. Blobby had a hit single, but you don't know what a wet tyre looks like.
No, I do. But I remember the slicks of the old days where they had treads as well. You know, when I talk older, I'm talking 90s Formula One. So I remember the Michelin, the Bridgestone battles and so forth. So of course I knew it was a wet tyre. Don't what you take me for. I'm really.
No, don't doubt your knowledge.
I'm really offended. What are you on about?
Oh.
Yeah. So warm up is over. Well, coming to conclusion as I see one of the drivers comes into the pits and getting his tyres changed. Oh no, he's now in his pit entirely. So we're just waiting for the warm up lap now. Drivers will start to appear on the grid shortly. And you can hear Mr. Loud Tannoy guy telling them to do so in game. So thank you for that. Who's going to come first, second, third? Come on.
Yuri Kazop to win.
Okay.
Tobias Rowan to come second and Christian Moreau to come third.
You've just done the top 3. Right, you cheat. Yeah, that's just easy. Right, I'm going to go Christian Moreau for the win. Yuri Kasdorp for second. And Dan Long for third.
Okay. You think Dan Long's race pace is going to be better than his qualifying pace then?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. You know, potentially Craig Patterson could be in the mix as well. I know he's only down in P6, but you know, and also anything can happen in the first corner, as we rightly know when we're watching these races anyway. And with the fact that it is raining again, 3% currently for the warm-up lap by the looks of it. So let's transition over, and viewers can see the rain there. I'll be interested if we go on board with the man at the back. This could be an interesting view to see what the spray's like. And look, the drivers have all got the threads on. So let's go through them.
Yes.
Yeah, see, look, I know what I'm doing. See?
Yep.
Don't believe in the hype.
A few drivers don't. Lorenzo Bonda is on the slicks, as is Anders Jensen.
Yeah, Paul Yahonen is as well.
Kalili.
That could be, that could really screw you up at the start of the race. It's now raining 4%. We're flicking through. So Lorenzo Bonda, yeah, he has slicks. Anders Jensen, but they've got nothing to lose really. These guys, Krishnik Halili, Daniel Watkins slicks.
Now
all the guys kind of at the back.
I'm seeing that Tobias Rona, Christian Moreau,
Matt Nagale's on wets. Okay, so this is interesting.
Anders Murr, all on slicks.
Simon Marshall, Stephen Gibb, Magnus Stoneby, Christoph Madge.
Okay.
Christoph Madge is right at the back. He's on. So normally the guys kind of 10th or above are on slicks. There's a couple of there on wets, but this is going to be interesting. Oh.
I believe the tyres are still updating because a lot of the drivers at the front who were on wets are now on dries.
Right. Okay, so Yuri Kasdorp is showing me on slicks.
Yeah.
So is Tobias Roda. So is Christian Baru, Anders Meyer, Brian Van Buskum. Okay, yeah, I think you might be onto a winner there. I think you might be right. Yeah, we've got slicks. Okay, all right. Interesting.
The only driver that isn't, unless his tyres haven't updated yet, is Christoph Marsh at the back of the grid, and Matt Legale.
Well, you know, it could be a Williams moment here, or a Force India moment. You know, go against the rest of the field to try and get
something. Yeah, something amiss with Daniel Watkins' car. He was stopped at Brooklands. He's now back going again, I believe.
Okay.
15th position.
Yeah, he's on.
But he's right at the back of the. Yeah. It was stopped at Brooklands corner. I don't know why.
When you go on the camera view, it doesn't look too bad in the cockpit though. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a fun race this evening. A little bit excited for the first corner shenanigans. Shenanigans, that's a great word. I should use that more.
It is.
Yeah, I really should.
And to our question about will the drivers fuel save on the warm lap, I think that's yes. They're in 5th gear and at very low RPM.
Well, let's be honest, it's wet. Oh, is that Paul Honan going off there? Think it might be. Where is he? In 8th. Yeah, that was definitely Paul Honan going off the track. Already on the formation lap, going off the track. That doesn't bode well. Let's go back with the man in the back there, and yeah, look, let's just keep an eye on him because you know, the drivers have to wait for him to get in his position before the lights can come up. So, so my co-commentator Stephen Peatley has gone with the top 3 to finish in the top 3, as well I've gone for Christian Maru to finish first, Yuri Kasdorp to finish second, and Dan Long to come through and finish third. Please, Dan, do it for me. I don't want to look like a fool. And remember, if you're interested in league racing, club racing, come and check us out at racedepartment.com. We're on the socials. We're on Twitter, Race Department. We're on Instagram, Race Department, Facebook. I think you get the idea. We're just Race Department.
We've made it as simple as possible.
So here we go. Right. We're getting all drivers are getting lined up in their box positions. We are getting ready for the start of the race. As the countdown, and we're off. And the drivers are away, and look at the spray. That is immense. And Ewan Kasdorp gets a relatively poor start, but Tobias Roda is alongside into the first corner, and he takes the lead. And, oh, look at the mess at the back.
How sideways everyone is.
Crazy. I'm not even going to try and name you the drivers, but Tobias Rona takes the lead of the race, Peter.
Craig Patterson is out.
Oh.
Of the race.
Oh, unbelievable. Oh, look at that.
A few of the drivers have lost their front wings as well.
Oh, that's Daniel Watkins.
Tobias Rona is our leader.
Tobias Rona is Daniel Watkins is now leaving, and he's lost majority of his wing. Christoph Maz looks like he was involved there as well. And I think everyone else has got away. Oh, wow. We didn't see what happened there, but it's just too much spray. But like I say, Tobias Rona is our leader on lap 1. What an unbelievable start, Peter, from Tobias Rona. Are you watching the replay by any chance? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm pressing the wrong button on my keyboard, so I can't speak. It always helps if you press the right button. But yes, Tobias Rona, a great start for him. Got off the line very well and has now got a few attempts over Yuri Kazdorp. But Christian Moreau and Anders Meur are already on the back of them, and Dan Long is in 5th position now.
Look at that! Told you, don't write him off. And it's raining. It's the 3% rain at the moment. So and Anders, as you've got this little team of 4 cars already breaking away. This is something we've seen throughout all the rounds, isn't it, Peter? Very quickly, the faster drivers do tend to have a little breakaway.
Yep, we saw it at all 4 of the previous rounds. Interlagos probably the biggest one of that, where we had a breakaway at the start and then it all bunched back together in the mid portion of the race. But here, it'll all tightly packed together here at the coming around to complete lap number 1. We're expecting about 25 to 30 laps for them, so the completion of lap number 1 and a long lap here at Silverstone, so it's going to take them a while to get around. But Tobias Rona leads by 0.4 of a second from Yuri Kazdorp. Christian Moreau is within a second of the leader. Anders Meur within a second and a half of the leader. Now we've got nearly a second back to Dan Long in 5th position, who's got ahead of Brian van Bousquemont at the start of this race.
So first lap is 10 seconds slower than the fastest lap in qualifying, so to be expected because they come from a standing start. So and Dan Long is keeping these guys honest, and so is Brian van Bousquemont and probably Henry Jury as well. Actually, to be honest with you, they're all on the same bit of tarmac, so to speak. So Dan Long will be hoping to. He's got Brian van Bousquemont currently for company, but he'll be hoping to get onto the back of Anders Meur. But Yuri Kazdorp did not get a great start, but he's looking at he's attacking Tobias Rona currently.
Yep, already has decided that I've not got anything to lose because I'm not in the championship hunt, so I'm going to go for the win. And Tobias, I think, will be a little bit more tentative, given he is in a championship battle for 7th and 6th position with Anders Meur, who's in 4th position currently. But Yuri has got through, I believe. He's on the outside line into Maggots and Beckett.
No, he hasn't quite made it stick. No. I think it would have been a really dangerous move if he had gone for that, to be honest.
Yeah, we have seen it done occasionally. However, Yuri thinking the better of it. He's going to get a good run out of Chapel and onto the hanger straight towards Stowe. So hopefully, for his sake, he'll be able to get in the slipstream and slipstream past Tobias Rona down the straight.
Yeah, he goes defensive immediately, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I think. Oh no! Yes. Ooh. Oh. Unbelievable.
Very close together. Yeah.
They definitely touched a couple of half a lap ago as they come into the final chicane at the end. Yuri Kazdorp keeps over, but he's lost the rear end a little bit, so that's given Tobias Rona a bit of room. That's allowed Christian Moreau. No, it hasn't. Christian Moreau is not as close as I thought he would be actually after that little slide from Yuri Kazdorp. He's still applying pressure. We come into the first right-hander to start a new lap. Love this part of the circuit as well. And then you come through to the left-hand, and then you've got the heavy braking zone into the slow right. This is the new section of the track, isn't it? That,
yep.
This kind of now it connect. As Tobias Rona goes wide there and allows Yuri Kazdorp. Oh, he's now going on the inside. He's got. Looks like he might have better traction coming out of these corners, Peter.
Yeah, looking very good that car, but unable to get through as of yet. And he's going to have the slipstream once again down the Wellington straight and into Brooklands, but not close enough, is he? He's going to make a dive. Is he going to be able to get through? They're going to make contact, and Tobias Rona's going to hold it.
Yeah, because he's got the inside coming through now into the old section of the track, the old start-finish straight. But this has allowed Dan Long and Anders Meyer and etc. to really get nice, close and personal with each other. So as Yuri Kazdrop again, he's getting a little, getting a little bit impatient now. He's like, "Come on, I really want to get past now."
And is he gone wide the old turn 1? He's gone over the grass. Is that going to give Christian Moreau a little chance? No, it's not. But Anders Meyer and Dan Long are all very close together now as well. So top 5 for the lead as quickly as that.
Yeah, unbelievable. And like I say, I mean, these cars have... as Anders Meyer again has a bit of a wobble. And actually Dan Long again. As they both come into our Beckett's there, they... both of them have the rear end kind of squabbling for grip. As you can see, Yuri's... there's definitely a bit of contact there, wasn't there?
Yeah, Tobias did not want to give him the inside of the circuit, and understandably so, because that's the better line.
Tobias goes wide, though he's on the
very
grass.
wide. And here comes Christian round the outside. That's given Yuri a chance to break away by a few temps, but Anders Meyer's going to get through as well. And now the two championship leaders are nose to tail in 4th and 5th position, but look at the gap that Yuri Kazdorp has already.
Yeah,
1 second.
In the last section there, yeah, that wasn't really great driving from Dan Long and Anders Meyer. Both their rear ends were as they where was it they go through? It's like through Vale and Club onto the start-finish straight. So yeah, through that section there, they both of them were like they were driving rally cars, really were. But that just shows you how hard these conditions are. The rain has not let off since the start of the race. At all. I know you can't see it when you're in on board, but if we go trackside, bugging the game, not much I can do about that. You can clearly see that it's raining, and you can see the spray
very heavily as well.
Yeah. So it's settled down a little bit since that kind of attack there that Yuri Kazdorp did on Tobias Rona to take the lead. He is putting away, 1.5 seconds now. So. That's the visual gap for you. If we go on board with Tobias Rona, you can see that's a visual representation of 1.5 seconds. So, and then we've got Anders Meyer, who's probably about the same back from Tobias Rona currently, and Christian Moreau is approximately a second behind Anders Meyer. So, still relatively close in terms of track space. So, not over to the fat lady sings quite yet.
No, and you've got to remember this race was 15 minutes longer than the first 4 races we've had in this championship.
Yuri Kazdorp is it? Oh no! No, what's he doing? What's he doing? Reversing? That's just mental. And takes out Tobias Rona. I don't know if he reversed or if the car just went backwards as it rotated. I'm going to have to look at the replay of that. I thought he was reversing. It looked like to me that he was reversing. Tobias Rona has lost his nose entirely. The car is all over the shot, as you can see. Oh, that is just... Kazdorp has recovered in 7th position, but Anders Meyer is now taking the lead of this race. So, right, okay, so Tobias Rona on board with him. He's fighting the car left and right. It's not going straight. It's probably got a damaged steering arm, I would imagine, as it comes in. So, now... I guess an opportunity to roll the dice. He hasn't DNF'd, so I'd imagine he's going to continue. We've got... I'm having a quick look at the replay, and he got on the grass and then just tank slapped down the road. And then as the car started to stop, it went backwards as it turned round and hit Tobias Rona. Tobias Rona, nothing he could do about that, but Yuri Kazdorp must have just elapsed in concentration slightly just to put him onto the grass slightly. And that is what caused the incident in the first place. Unbelievable. So there's your well, no, he wasn't in our top 3, but Yuri Kazdorp was our prediction. And yeah, how's his car handling? Let's have a look. A number of the drivers looking like they're struggling. We've already had 4 drivers out of the race: Anders Jensen, Renzo Bonda, Craig Patterson, and Christoph Marge. And Eric Ockvert looks like he's struggling without a front wing. Yeah, so Anders Jensen has just DNF'd as well, hasn't he? So, yep.
that's made it very
Tobias is still in the
interesting at the
pits.
front.
I mean, Joseph Wright, he's just fallen. He was in P6. Yuri Kasdorp has just taken P6 off him. So he's currently in P7. Joseph Wright's in P7.
Yeah, it's a good result for Joseph. He was fifth position in practice.
49 minutes to go. No offence to him, but he's not over the line yet. But yeah, definitely having one of his better races so far. So yeah, gained. I think probably gained a couple of positions from that instant. But look at the top four here. Look, so Anders Meyer, Christian Maru, Dan Long, Brian Van Bruscum, very close together as Christian Maru is all over the back of.
There's Mur.
Oh.
Very sideways, and that's allowed Christian Maru to get through. Dan Long was also sideways through there. And look at Henry Drury. Was 7 seconds behind the leader, now 2 seconds behind the leader.
So Brian Van Bruscum is alongside Dan Long, but has gone. Oh, Dan Long's gone wide. He's now into Christian Maru. Sorry, went wide. Apologies. Dan
Long sideways down the straight. And look at Henry Drury's catching up.
Yeah, this is
five-way battle now for the lead.
This battling here is allowing the because the cars are squirming all over the place, aren't they? You know, 1 minute you got traction, next minute your rear end's trying to come and say hello to you. But all this battling, look at this. Anders Meyer has got a bit of a gap now of 1.2 seconds over Christian Maru in second position. And
yes,
it stopped
and
raining, by the way. It stopped raining, so we're at 0% rain now. We've got a bit of spray, so this will start clearing up. So expecting the times to improve. The best lap currently is a 2:09 from Yuri Kasdorp. Not quite sure when that was set, but
lap 2.
Flash up. Leslie Burlage has just got off track apparently, according to my screen, but he's back on track now in P13. So Claudia Honen's just gone up into P14.
And Henry Drury and Brian Buscum are all off.
Oh!
Henry Drury managed to save it, but Van Boosman is right down in 6th position now behind Yuri Kasdorp.
7th position now. It's just updating on my screen. So
7th
Joseph's
position
right
now.
up into P6.
Yep.
Because of that, and Yuri Kasdorp is back into P5. So was there contact between the two drivers?
I don't believe so. I think it was just synchronised pirouettes.
Right. Very nice. Very nice. As Dan Long is all over the back of your championship leaders, Dan Long and Christian Maru. Whoever finishes ahead of the other wins the championship after 5 rounds tonight, or not tonight, after 5 rounds the last 5 weeks, including this one. So these two will continue to battle. They're both on 107 points. So yeah, if Christian Maru, if it stays this way, Christian Maru is championship winner. He wins the overall league and he wins some Amazon vouchers, if my memory serves me right. Yep,
that's correct. And Henry Drury, just to put it into perspective, his results so far this season is a 12th at Interlagos, and he's now running in 4th position.
But he's got Yuri Kasdorp chasing him down, and we've seen how fast he is. I know he had a moment where he spun round and unfortunately hit Tobias Rona, who is off the track, I just see. So he's currently in 19th position. It's just unfortunate. I thought Yuri Kasdorp had reversed on track, but you've watched the replay and it looked like it was just the momentum of the car. So I take that back. But most unfortunate there because they were having a good battle. But Yuri Kasdorp, I think, will catch Henry Drury. So Henry Drury, I think, will have to submit at some point and move down to 5th. But Dan Long and Christian Brewer, I've got a bit of a gap between them now of about half a second. So that battle is called for the moment. So they're both trying to catch up with the race leader, who's Anders Meyer. We're at Silverstone. It's round 5 for the RDGP Championship. We have 45 minutes remaining of a 16-minute race. It's 100% full damage in this league. So that's throwing up a few curveballs. And no mandatory pit stop, but we are expecting drivers to have to pit tonight. We're not sure if that'll be for tyres and for fuel or just be one or the other. But I guess that all depends how the conditions turn out, Peter, because it has stopped raining, but there is quite a bit of spray remaining on the track.
Yes, and the majority of drivers are already on the slick tyres, so they won't have to change tyres. It will just be a case of, won't have to change tyre compounds. They may have to change tyres though. But of course, the tyres will be getting cooled constantly by the weather. So hopefully, for their sake, they won't have to change tyres because the tyres won't wear as quickly. Of course, they'll be colder, and that forces them to have less wear. But it also means you may have higher wear due to the fact they're not being used in the correct conditions. So, depending on the race goes here, we've still got a full normal race distance to go in 45 minutes. So, depending on what the weather does in that time, will depend on what drivers decide to do.
And the gap is coming down, isn't it, between Christian Moreau and Anders Meyer? So they're on their 7th lap currently. And the top 3 have broken away. There have been a couple. As Henry Drury in the background goes a little bit wide. He's under a little bit of pressure now from Yuri Kazdop. He's looking to get the toe there as he come into the left-hander, and I think gets the position, quite comfortably actually, in fact. So he'll now be hunting down the top 3. And Brian Van Buskum, who had an incident not long ago between him and who was it now? Henry Drury himself. They both had, you say, had synchronised spinach or some description.
Spinach.
Spinach, not like spinach like Popeye, but just, you know, spinach as in they span.
Yeah.
So Brian Van Briscoe's in 6th position.
I was thinking like the.
I'm just making words
like
up as I go along. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Henry Drury's keeping tags now with Yuri Kazdop, so maybe them two will gain some pace and catch up with the top 3. Currently racing leader is Anders Meyer as they go down the Hanger Straight.
Yep. Only got a slight lead over Christian Moreau, but all the same, he's got the lead, and for the moment, he's looking quite comfortable in that lead, keeping the pace quite consistent in the 2:11s. So you can see how much the drivers are having to slow down due to this weather. 2 minutes 10 last time round for Christian Moreau. So a very quick time, and Dan Long in the 2:10 as well. But
Henry Drury tried to make a move on the inside of Yuri Kazdop, trying to get that 4th position back, but I think lost a little bit of grip as they come into the start-finish straight. So I just saw how close they were on screen. So that battle's not quite over yet, as Christian Moreau is really over the back of Anders Meyer now, hoping to try and take the lead, as Dan Long is close as well. So I think I might have just had a little dip in internet connectivity there, so sorry if the stream went a bit funny for you. But it started raining again. There we go on my screen. So the ever-changing weather conditions come at us again.
Yep, and this will make it even more tricky for the drivers because, of course, with there being no rain on onboard cameras, they can't see what's going on. So they'll have to rely on their hood and the spray of the car in front of them to check what's happening. But at the moment, Christian Moreau looking comfortable in that 2nd position. Dan Long waiting in the wings and looking in front of him at the front too to see what goes on. Of course, as long as he stays within sight of Christian Moreau, he will be able to mount a challenge at the end of the race. And we've seen Dan do that in a few races at Suzuka, where he took the win. He won the race in the pit stop, and also at Nola, where unfortunately Christian Moreau did have damage, but all the same, Dan Long was able to get through in the final couple of laps in order to take the win.
These guys kind of a couple of back markers as well. Not sure who they are because it doesn't show me on my screen the kind of the positions on track, but could make things interesting. It's a relatively easy track to get past through on back markers. There's a lot of room, so it shouldn't be too troublesome. If it was around Monaco, it'd be a different story, but we're not around there, so the drivers have no excuse not to obey the blue flags that will be appearing for them. So we're currently 40 minutes of the race remaining. We're on lap 8, coming around to start lap 9. And Anders Meyer, Christian Moreau, Dan Long are your top 3. And we're currently watching these guys. Oh, it's a back marker. I don't know who that green car is. I was trying to remember. But
Daniel Watkin, I believe.
Right, so he went a little bit wide there.
And he gets straight out the way.
Yeah.
Very nice of him.
Good back marker. Good back marker. Well done. Give him a little.
And in front of them, they've got Eric Ogverk, who In front of them, they got Eric Ockberg, who's actually not got a front wing, so he's probably finding the handling quite difficult with that car.
Well, I can imagine these conditions. Yes, yeah, definitely. I would expect he's quite fast down the start-finish straight because he's got no drag. But up when he hits a corner, that could be, as you can see, a little wobble from him. So.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Amazing.
Understeer City, I should think, in that car.
Yes, I'd imagine so. As we go on board with Christian Moreau, who's currently in P2. Don't be fooled by the onboards. It doesn't show any rain. So it's definitely raining. As we go, as you can see the spray, 3% of rain actually now.
I've just found a great battle for 10th position as Paul Ahonen tries to make a move on Matt Legale, and that is Simon Marshall also making a move past one of the back markers, I believe, was that? No, that was Simon Marshall he was going through. So, Paul Ahonen, Matt Legale, Simon Marshall, and Tobias Rona in a battle. Tobias one lap down, but nevertheless trying to keep tabs with these guys.
Yeah, it's the closest battle on track right now. Actually, we're looking at it. As we go on board with Simon Marshall.
And what's happened to Christian Moreau?
Oh,
down to 3rd position.
See, look, we go away from the lead, and look what happens. We miss the action.
I think we should just stay on the leaders for the entire race. Apologies to everyone else who wants TV time, but apparently things happen when we're not looking.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah, the curse of the commentators, I think they say. Okay, so this is so currently Dan Long, if he keeps it together, he's currently championship winner. He wins the championship. So that's
by a single point.
Yeah, that's oh wow. Okay, so a couple of back markers getting out of the way nicely there. Hold on, is that Yuri Kasdop? It blooming well is. He's left Henry Jury for dust, so Henry Jury's just there in 5th position, and he's coming up to Christian Moreau. Okay, things might get a little bit more interesting as the rain continues to come down here at Silverstone. Good old British summertime weather.
Yep. Amazing weather and then torrential weather in an instant.
Daniel Watkins is in the pits.
Yes, and Simon Marshall's out the race. Huge incident, his car's on fire. Hopefully the rain will be able to put that out.
Oh well, I've got him just in the pits now. I've missed what happened there. So interesting stuff. As Daniel Watkins is in the pits, has he just DNF'd? I think he might have done. He's gone into his actual garage rather than a pit stop. So, but it hasn't come up DNF'd yet on my screen. So Spice Roan is still going. I mean, he went into the pits a little while ago now. He unfortunately got collected as Daniel Watkins does finally DNF. Tobias Rona unfortunately had one of the drivers, Yuri Kasdop, had a spin in front of him, and as the momentum came back, it hit Tobias Rona. But to his credit, he pitted the car, got the damage repaired, and he's back out. And is he missing a bit of his wing? Because a lot of the cars that go in, they miss part of their wing, don't they? Yeah, he is. The bottom right, you can see the end plate's not there. It must be a bug in the game, surely.
Yeah, possibly. Well, drivers have been saying that the car doesn't fully repair itself even when you have repairs on in the pit lane, so that could be part of it. But I'm quite amazed that Yuri Kasdorp doesn't have any damage from that collision.
Yeah.
Given how much Tobias Rona had.
Well, he may be, but I don't know. Like it clipped the rear end, didn't it? And also to be honest with you, I think the main damage for Tobias Rona is when he hit the wall.
Yes, possibly.
Not the other vehicle. Car. Yeah. So yeah. That might be why he's still running with some decent pace. So as he's hunting down Christian Moreau, who's one of the championship leaders on 107 points. Dan Long is the other, and that gap is closed right down now. So whatever happened previously that we missed because we were looking at another battle.
I believe he just went wide at Beckett's, and that was it.
Right.
Put him down 2 seconds.
So Dan Long is going to be feeling the pressure from Christian Moreau. If not already, he will shortly in the next couple of corners. And the rain has got a little bit harder. It's up to 5% of rain now as Yuri Kazdok goes wide there. So hope he took his foot off the gas a little bit when he did, because he had all 4 wheels off the track there. But it still remains pretty close. So part of me wonders that he didn't. But you're supposed to ease off when that happens.
And Charles Baccio looking very close to Joseph Wright, 3rd place in the championship at the moment.
Well, I'm not going to leave that battle because Yuri Kazdok has made a move, on to Dan Long, and somehow has got past both of them, and he's up into 2nd position. How the devil? What?
I'm going to have a look at the replay because I'm as confused as you.
Maybe it's the level of wing he's running. What? Huh?
Unless Dan Long got a slide out of Beckett's and Chapel and Christian had to check up, and then that was how he got through. But I'm currently fast forwarding through the replay to get to where
in the meantime,
the incident happened.
Anders Meyer is how far ahead? 5 seconds away. So will the gap now close down? Close down? Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. They're the words I'm looking for. Close down. Yeah. So take us through what happened when you find out, because that's phenomenal. Absolutely. I was like, what? Hey? He just...
Oh. So, for some reason, Dan Long suddenly slows down.
Right. Maybe a technical hitch.
He's going along at 125 mile an hour and then suddenly eases off to 110 and then accelerates back to 125.
Right. Okay. No idea.
Tactical?
I don't...
Possibly.
They're not teammates, are they? So, no idea.
No. But you think if Dan Long did it, Christian would want any invitation to get through and take the championship lead.
Yeah, as the spray's getting... the rain is getting heavier. So, we're now up to an amazing 6%. So this is the most amount of rain we've seen since during practice and quali. And you can tell by the amount of spray coming off the drivers now.
Yeah. Will this be a time for rain tyres then?
You're asking the wrong person. I don't race in R-Factor too. I've got no idea how this works. So,
yeah.
I mean, we have
to be honest,
keep an eye on how the cars are handling in these conditions. Really, use our left and our right eyes to kind of watch going on in front of us and try and make a judgment, really. But it looks like Dan Long's struggling there a little bit as he comes out of the final corners onto the start-finish straight. The gap to Anders Meyer has already come down to 3.7 seconds, so Yuri Kazdok's got pace on these guys. It's just unbelievable, the pace he's got. He's just leaving Dan Dan Long and Christian Moreau in his wake, literally.
Yeah. And exactly, and Anders Moreau last lap round won 2 minutes 12, whereas Yuri Kazdok 2 minutes 10. So that's where all the time is.
2 minutes 9
is out.
Yeah, well, the fastest he's done is a 2:93. You're right, it's a 2:10 last time round.
Yeah.
And Anders Meyer 2:20. Yeah, that's unbelievable difference. So.
And Dan Long and Christian Moreau also off the pace and look how sideways Anders Moreau is trying to get through there.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah. We're still at 6% rain. I mean, if this is 6%, like I said earlier on, I don't want to know what 100% is like, because you wouldn't be able to see the cars, I would imagine. I think that's probably storm-like conditions. Yeah. If you've never been to the UK, this is typical summertime weather. This is normally what Silverstone's all about. I was at Silverstone in 2009, all it did was rain.
And Paulie Ahonen into the pit lane to change onto wet weather tyres, I believe.
And Magnus Steinby's also into the pits as well. So it's eased off a little bit now. It's only down to 4%. So that's a brave move. If they're genuinely changing to wet weather tyres, to wet weather, wet weather tyres. That's a bold move, isn't it?
And I'm just Eric Ogverk was the only driver on the wet weather tyres. He did his best lap is a 2:12. I believe he's been on them since the start.
I've shown a couple of drivers off track: Stephen Gibb and Dan Long.
Dan Long was off the circuit.
Apparently, at some point, it came off my screen.
Oh, and he's off the circuit again.
There you go.
Oh, and Anders Meyer into the pit lane.
Right, so drivers are... Okay, this is interesting. So currently now, because Christian Moreau is now in third, Dan Long fourth, Christian Moreau is currently the championship leader.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on? Okay, this is keeping us guessing. Right, so, Magnus Stoyenby's leaving the pits. Let's have a look. What's he got? Slicks. Okay, so he's had a change of tyres. Paul Honen's had a penalty. Come off my screen. Don't know what for. But he's got wet weather tyres on.
Yep.
Okay. Amazing.
Yuri Kazdorp last time around was in the 2:12.
Yeah.
Christian Moreau in the 2:13s. Dan Long in the 2:19s. So he must have made a mistake
Paul
somewhere.
Honen, who's in 13th position.
Yeah. And he's just made a pit stop, bear in mind.
Who, Paul Honen? Yeah, true, yeah.
Yes, yeah. But Anders Meyer will be the benchmark. So whatever he does...
Guess what's happened?
He's on slicks.
It's weather related. It stopped raining again.
Okay.
So Paul Honen's on wet weather tyres and it stopped raining. So let's have a look at Yuri. What's he done? He's back out on slicks. Did he pit? Was it
he's... Yeah. No, he's Paul Honen who's pitted and Anders Meyer.
Right, okay, I'm getting confused. Okay, Joseph Wright's just been off the track apparently, and he's currently in 6th position. So Stephen Gibb is into the pits. It's all interesting. Joseph Wright being chased down by Charles Becchio. Yeah, quite a bit of spray on the track, but ladies and gentlemen, it has stopped falling from the sky once again. It could at any moment come back. It's been doing it through practice, qualifying, through the race. Conditions are changing as looks like Henry Drury goes. Oh no, not Henry Drury. Whoever the car was in front of. Oh no, we're letting him through. I think back marker. Okay, right. That's quite nicely done. So Charles Becchio is getting let past as well. So that's great. Oh, I can't keep up with all of this, can you? It's 27 minutes to go. We've only got less than half an hour remaining. We've had a couple of drivers in already. That is Anders Meyer's pitted due to damage. Paul Honen's pitted. Magnus Stoyenby's pitted. Eric Ogverk has pitted. Also Tobias Rona. And Daniel Watkin has pitted as well. He's currently in the pits. I think he's actually in the pits again. I think he's already pitted.
Daniel Watkin?
Yeah. Oh, he's DNF, sorry.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't show DNF on the racing timing dashboard thing. It's annoying.
Oh, okay.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 retirements. Yeah. Well, actually, one of them looked like it was a disconnect. DQ, is that a disconnect?
Disqualification.
Ah, disqualification. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disqualification. So Craig Patterson, Lorenzo Bonder, Anders Jensen, Cole Little, Daniel Watkins, Simon Marshall, all DNFs. Craig Patterson DNF'd in the first couple of corners. There was quite a major incident, I think. And I did say that, didn't I? I did predict that. I said if you're Craig Patterson, you don't want to be in that position.
Yeah, you were right.
So
not often you're wrong, but you're right this time.
Sometimes I'm completely clueless, and other times I'm completely on the money. I'm no in between. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, and your prediction of a top 3 could still happen, whereas I think mine's a bit out the window.
Oh yeah. Well, because I think I predicted Yuri Kazdorp to finish second, Christian Moreau to finish first, and Dan Long to finish third. So yeah, I'm halfway there really, technically, if you think about it. Yeah.
I mean, one of them's correct.
We'll just ignore your one. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Briscoe coming in 4th position. This is turning out to be a nice race for Mr. Van Booscombe. Paul Honen is in the pits. I think he's going to change his tyres.
I should think so. Considering he's done one lap and it was 2 minutes 14, I shouldn't think it, and that's including coming into, and Dan Long and Brian Van Busman into the pits.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay, so let's keep an eye on Paulie Honen's already away. That was quick. That was really quick.
Yep. And he's still on wet tyres.
Okay.
And Dan Long still on the dry tyres, unless they're still yet to make the change. Anders Mer's just coming across the line is going to take both of them.
I think he's filling up with fuel currently. I don't think the game could do both at once. I think it has to do one and then the other, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so...
Even so, Anders Mer, the net race leader now.
Yeah,
after the pit stop.
So Charles Bacchio and Krestik Halili and Henry Jury are pretty close together. There's a driver gone wide there. That would have been Leslie Burlage, Joseph Wright's teammate. That was quite an expedition. But Leslie
Joseph Wright up to the 3rd position now.
Yeah, I know, but he hasn't pitted yet. So
yep,
not to knock him, but I can't see him staying there. It's where Paulie Honan has pitted twice, unfortunately for him. I wonder why that is. And he's, after when he had a really good round at, someone's gone wide there. Is that Magnus Steinbeek? Yeah, he's off track. Off you go, mate. I thought I thought at one point he was just missing the pits, but it's the wrong pits. So yeah.
Joke's on you.
Yeah, or maybe he got confused and thought it was the old layout rather than the new layout. Krestik Halili has also gone off track at some point recently, and so has Eric Okverk, and so has Matt Nagane. He's currently still off track. So lots of drivers finding the conditions right now very challenging. So yeah, as Matt Nagane is onto the hanging straight now, and Leslie Burlage has got off track again. Henry Drury's got off track. And Stephen Gibb. There's a lot of drivers keep going off track right now. I think because it stopped raining, but the track is still looking pretty damp. There's still quite a bit of spray coming off the back of these cars.
Yep, that's correct. Yep, a lot of spray still off the back of all the cars here. Dan Long has got out in front.
Henry Drury's into the pits, sorry, from P5.
Yep, he is.
We'll have a look at these two. These two are pretty, well, not that close now. But, okay, and that's also Leslie Burlage into the pits. He was struggling a lot, so not surprised by the decision. The race leader has yet to pit. The race leader at one point also had a spin. Oh, and guess what? It started to rain again. 1%. There we go. Look. Oh. You can't call these April showers because we're not in April anymore. But
nope.
What they kind of remind me of, really. 21 minutes to go. Yeah, this is crazy conditions.
Considering we had snow in March, though, I don't think it's surprising that April showers have come in June.
Yeah, the weather seasons are a bit behind these days. They're a bit slow, aren't they?
Yeah.
Stephen Gibb has once again at some point got off track not long ago. Actually, I can see rain on his onboard. I can see rain on his onboard. You can just about see it. I reckon it's because the rain before, the 3-4% is not hard enough to see it on the onboards. And now it's at 5%. You can see the rain.
Yeah. I mean, your eyes must be better than mine.
I can see rain on the onboards.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe your graphics aren't as high as mine, perhaps. Maybe that's why not. But I wasn't previously.
Yeah, my
with
PC's definitely not as good as yours.
2, 3, or 4%. But maybe because it's now 6% rain again. But you can, even in the game from the cockpit view, you can see breaks in the sky, can't you? You can see clouds and you can see blue sky. So,
yep.
It's definitely.
And Charles Baccio all over the back of Joseph Wright.
He is indeed, yes. This is for 3rd position. Joseph Wright currently in a podium position. I know that Joseph likes to listen to the stream while he's racing, which I think is absolutely insane, because I could say stuff like, Don't bottle it, Joseph, right? Because you might crash, and then that might happen.
Oh, and Matt Legale out the race.
Ah, that's unfortunate. He's in the pits. This is quite a few DNFs now. We've got 8, I think. 8 drivers out. We've got a DQ there as well. Wow. This is as many I think we saw last time round into Lagos.
Yep, we had a number of accidents into Lagos as well. Yep.
Eric Ogvik and Magnus Steinby having a bit of a battle. Eric Ogvik up into P12. So, it looked like Matt Legale was off track just before he retired, so maybe he took some damage before he retired. I'm not sure. But the race leader currently is 3.4 seconds ahead of Christian Marou. Can Christian... Oh, and Christian Marou was off track a moment ago. I saw him in the background, but I clicked the wrong name. And as Charles Bacchio gets past Joseph Wright now down to P4.
Yeah, it looks like Charles has got the more pace at the minute. 2 minutes 12 on the last lap versus Joseph's 2 minutes 13. So Mr. Bacchio up into 3rd position.
So 18 minutes to go. Your top 5 drivers currently have not pitted. Henry Drew, before he pitted, was in P5 for Atlantic Motorsport. So he's currently in P9. So if he's keeping the pace up, he might get that spot back. But like I say, currently the top 5 drivers yet to pit, as we're currently watching Charles Bacchio try and spread his wings and get away from Mr. Joseph Wright. Christian Marou, how's he doing? No, the gap remains the same at a constant 3.4 seconds. And as things stand, Christian Marou currently in 2nd, with Dan Long currently in P7 after his pit stop. Unless Dan Long finds some pace as he goes off track. That's not finding pace. Oh, and the rear end goes. Oh, he keeps it on the black stuff just. I thought he was going to end up on the grass there. As currently things stand, Christian Marou is going to be the championship winner, and Dan Long is going to take 2nd position. Who's going to finish 3rd? Because Craig Patterson is no longer with us, and I thought he had an opportunity to.
Yep, Charles Bacchio.
So he'll be consolidating his 3rd position.
Looks like it, yep.
Does, doesn't it? Yes. Okay. So that currently is how things stand with 17 minutes to go. It's not with... Things are a bit spread out now, aren't they? So they're not quite the same... Dan Long... No, that was still a while ago now. Well, about a minute ago he went off track, wasn't it? Okay, right.
And we've got a battle for 5th position. Anders Murr trying to get on the inside of Kreshnik Halili. Unable to make it stick through there.
I think Anders Myers will have more pace than Kreshnik Halili. No offence to Mr. Halili, but I think with all the instances that are going on, that's why he's currently in the position that he is, as Anders Myers looks to take the right side.
And does so. Yeah. Looks like he's through.
Easy, isn't it? See? Oh,
yeah.
Hello. Kreshnik Halili having a little... Trying to have a look, and he gets through because I think Anders Meyer loses the rear end. So I don't think there was any contact there. And Kreshnik Halili back into 5th position. Yeah, just shows you, doesn't it? You take too much speed with the conditions, and Christian Marou's just DNF'd. What?
Oh. So that basically means Dan Long has won the championship.
Oh, unbelievable. What a turnaround! What? I'm speechless. It's Anders Meyer. Yeah. Again, he's looking to try and get past Kreshnik Halili. I'm just absolutely... What the hell's happened? What the hell
we've got...
As Kreshnik Halili goes into the pit, so that gives Anders Meyer 4th position. So...
Yep. And Daniel Watkin has just given us a little race report on what happened to him, because, of course, he's one of the retirements, and he says wheel went crazy on the formation lap, hence why he stopped in the middle of the circuit, and then got taken out by a rejoining car in lap 1, spent the time repairing damage, then went offline to let through a lapping car and got onto a damp patch to put it into the wall. Unfortunate for him, And Christian Moreau, I've just had a quick look at the replay, and he has gone, and basically he's gone through Beckett's, got sideways on the grass on the outside, and he's been hit by Henry Drury, who's a lap down, and that has put him out of the race.
Oh, unbelievable. These conditions are really testing our drivers. Okay, so Dan Long, as things stand, and is that going to promote Charles Becchio to finish second?
Second, yeah, I think so.
My maths isn't my strongest point. Actually, some would say, after listening to this race, commentary isn't my strongest point.
Well, as...
Oh, I love it. I do love it. I can feel... Oh, so race leader is in the pits. We're watching,
into the pit lane.
Him. So, race leader is in the pits. That's
so he's done a full race distance. He's done a 45-minute stint on one set of fuel, which if it was 45 minutes, he would have done very well. But unfortunately, he's got another 15 minutes, so a little splash and dash at the end, I think.
Yeah, 13
to get to the end.
minutes and 34 seconds now. So we're just watching Charles Becchio, who hasn't pitted either, but he's quite considerable way behind the race leader. So I think the race leader might come out. So
him and Joseph Wright have just pitted.
Charles Becchio's into the pits as well. So Yuri Kastrop is on his way. Joseph Wright coming into the pits. From third, so Joseph Wright third. Okay, Anders Meyer though is in. I think might have something to say about that, or Dan Long might actually. So Dan Long, let's watch him.
Out of interest,
he's gone wide there. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what's the weather at now? Because it looks much worse than it was.
6%.
Still 6%.
Still 6%. Yeah.
I can't imagine 100% then.
No, I don't know if it goes up to 100%. I'm just guessing that it does. So,
yeah.
Right, Joseph Wright he's leaving the pits, and
he's ahead of Dan Long.
Coming into the first corner section. So, I'd imagine he's going to have a Dan Long breathing down his neck very shortly. So, good luck with that, Mr. Wright, if you're listening. Okay, yep. So Charles Becchio has also left the pit, so he's in third currently. So Anders Meyer is in second. Anders Meyer has pitted, so I would imagine that if it stay, I think it's going to pretty much stay like this. I can't see Charles Becchio. No, he won't catch him. No, not at all. The distance is no, can't see it happening. Okay, so at the moment, your race leader is Yuri Kazdorp. Then second is Anders Meyer. The gap between them is about 15 seconds. So that's the end of that battle. Charles Becchio is on the old start-finish straight, and he's about 15 seconds behind Anders Meyer as well. So there's not anything over there. So I think your best hope is these two: Dan Long, Joseph Wright. Paul Yohonen's currently battling with Henry Drury, but that's 9th, 8th. And Paul Yohonen, I think, is about to make the move on the inside, and yes, he does. As Henry Drury goes went off track a little bit, but not too bad. So, but I think Dan Long. Oh no, he must have gone off track. No. Okay, the gap looks a little bit longer than I expected. I'm suspecting that in the next 11 minutes that Dan Long is going to catch up with Joseph Wright. But to be fair to Mr. Wright, this is quite an impressive drive from him this evening. Kept his nose clean.
Yeah, it's been best result of the season so far if he keeps it all together, no pressure. Currently a best result of 11th, I believe that is. 19 points at both Suzuka and Interlagos. He did say he tried to do a no stop at both those rounds, however it didn't quite come off. But here it looks like his strategy's worked out perfectly. He's kept his, as you say, he's kept his nose clean and he's reaping the rewards at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is literally just trying to stay out of trouble. Some of that is down to your own driving and just keeping it on the black stuff, and at other times it's you need a little bit of luck. And sometimes lady luck is on your side. But let's have a look at the gap between these two. So 39, 44. So it's about 6 seconds the gap at the moment between Dan Long and Joseph Wright. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if that starts to come down. But Dan Long is looking like he's on the ragged edge a little bit from time to time. Henry Jury's just been as recently been off track. He's currently in P9, so Paulie Ahonen managed to get past him while he was off track. So that's unfortunate for him. And he, I think, as Henry Jury there decides he wants to do a round of what's that sport I'm thinking with cars where you literally just drifting. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. That's the word, Paul. It's like I'm talking to myself sometimes, Peter. You know, like
yeah,
you can hear my thought process going through my head. Yeah, brilliant.
What's that sport with us where they're drifting? That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you know, I was about to say the sport in Japan. I think it started out in Japan, didn't it? Drifting. So, yeah. Anyway, back to what's in front of us. Henry Jury there looks like he's got no end plates on his wing. That'll do it. That'll explain why he's struggling. The rain's still at 6%. So it's still coming down. These guys are driving on slick tyres. I mean, that's just madness. I don't know much about this game, but by the conditions, why are they not on wet tyres? Maybe it just takes too long to change and it's not enough of a risk. Or too much of a risk even.
Maybe there's just not enough rain. I mean, it's hard to believe because the place looks flooded, but maybe there isn't.
Yeah, maybe there's maybe there's a bug with the wet tyres. You just don't know. I don't play this game. I've only raced in vans. I think on R Factor 2, they're like a crazy race. Actually, Mr. Wright hosted one where you can literally all in like ice cream van type truck things, and you could then change the skin. It's quite good fun. It was slow, but it was good fun. Right, is Dan Long catching Mr. Joseph Wright? Slightly.
No.
Slightly, I think he is, but not a lot.
A 9-second gap between them.
Right. You're right, yeah.
If anything, I'd say 7? Mr. Van Buskemel's catching
7.
Mr. Long.
Okay. I'm seeing 7, but...
44 to 53, I'm saying.
I'm seeing... as Dan Long goes off the track. Yeah, he's pushing too hard. I don't know. To be honest with you, he doesn't need second position. He's still going to win the championship. Just enjoy it. Just smile on your face, put some music on, maybe, and just keep driving.
There is a long straight here, so you may be able to put your music on shuffle while you try and drive.
Yeah. Brian Van Buskum is catching Mr. Long.
Yep.
Because Mr. Long keeps going off track even. So, Magnus Steinby a moment ago was off track apparently, and so again was Mr. Henry Drury. But that'll be because he's got no end plates, and I don't think he's got much downforce there. But he's still in 9th position. Tobias Rona is 24 seconds behind, so he's got.
And sideways and in the wall.
Who is?
Tobias Rona.
Oh. And he had the first incident with Yuri Kastop and then got his car repaired.
Yep, same place as well.
Another DNF there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 DNFs and 1 DQ. So, yeah. Wow. That's a lot of DNFs. Bit disappointing actually. I don't know. As Mr. Brian Van Buskum decides that he wants to join the drifting competition, but manages to catch it. 5% rain now, so it's apparently easing off, but it doesn't really look much different to how it was a moment ago. So this is a lot of rain, and there's not a lot of battles going out on track now, though Leslie Burledge is currently in close proximity of Tobias Rona for this is 13th and 14th position. Stephen Gibb is up the road quite a bit. So yeah, these guys here probably, and Brian Van Buskum I think is getting closer and closer to Dan Long, so we'll keep an eye on that. But there's not really much activity out on track, is there, Peter. That's it's a little bit unusual.
Yeah, and I mean, the weather's really thrown a curveball. I mean, this top three, I don't think any of us were expecting. Yuri Kazdorp maybe as a winner, but certainly not in the way he's done it. And look at Joseph Wright struggling on those tyres, and Dan Long, we said he might not have a chance, but the gap's now down to 3 seconds.
Wow, look at that. Looks like I might have been right again.
Yeah.
So 4.5 seconds remaining.
Seconds.
Minutes.
Yeah.
Just making sure you were listening. Yeah. Just making sure you're with me. You well done. You passed the test.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir. And we're currently watching Joseph Wright, who's in 4th position. This will be Joseph Wright's best position finish. He kept that beautifully. Yeah, obviously that was intentional. Just one for the cameras. Yep. But Dan Long is hunting him down now. The gap I'm showing is 1.5 seconds in my screen. So and it was around 7 seconds a couple of laps ago. And Brian Van Buskum is only 2.5 seconds. So Joseph.
And Dan Long's round the corner.
Oh, he's gone off again.
Brian Van Buskum, can he get through? Yes.
He does indeed. Why is he pushing so hard? He doesn't need to push so hard. You want to just bring it home. He's winning. He's going to win the championship. Charles Bacchio is going to get second in the championship, and that's going to leave Christian Maru with third, I believe, isn't it? I don't think anybody else can really take any other positions because Craig Patterson has gone. Paulie Ahonen's in 8th. Could that cause some damage? Could that take Christian Maru?
Don't think enough.
No,
21
20 points is the difference between him and first. I don't know what the difference is, but it's Craig Patterson.
21 points for 8th position.
He'll take 4th for Craig Patterson, definitely.
Yeah, but there's 21 points is 8th position.
Right.
And Paulie Ahonen is 20 points behind Christian Maru, so he may take it by 1 point.
Ooh, tense. Not tense as in what you go camping in. I mean, tense as in, this is tense. Just in case you're wondering. Right. You enjoy commentating with me, don't you?
It's just that I didn't expect dad jokes from you. I've got to be honest.
Well, you know, I'm older than you. What do you expect? Right. Okay. 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. 2 minutes now remaining as the time goes down. Brian Van Buskum, we're currently watching in 6th position, who's chasing down Dan Long, who's currently in 5th, and who is chasing down Joseph Wright in 4th. The gap has remained steady. It's now about 2 seconds, but Brian Van Buskum is only 1.3 seconds behind Dan Long with 1 minute and 42 seconds to go. Oh, Joseph Wright might be safe at this present time. So,
oh, he's just another big slide though.
Oh, has he? Oh, I'm not watching. Oh, let's switch. Oh no, it's wrong driver. Right. Okay. This.
The gap now is 2 seconds between them.
Yeah.
In fact, even less than that.
Yeah, 1.7 I'm seeing now. So. Best lap of the race it's only a 2:09.3. It just shows you how much the conditions have really hampered the drivers. The rain is easing. It's only at 2% now. It's where a few laps ago it was at 5. But Joseph Wright is looking a bit slow for this section. Oh, struggling for traction.
I think everyone's tiptoeing at this stage.
Yeah, Dan Long is gained about half a second on Mr. Wright there. So 48 seconds. This is going to be the final lap, isn't it? So let's get. We want to try and keep an eye on the first place man, but I don't really want to leave this battle. But I think we will do. So Yuri Kazdorp coming into Stowe and Beckett's. Not Stowe. I didn't mean Stowe. I meant Beckett's and Maggots and Beckett's. Yeah, sorry, listeners. Learn your tracks, Paul. Learn your tracks. We'll do next time. Right, and so this is your man that qualified pole. Had a bit of an incident. Had a bit of a spin. Tobias Rona collided with him.
And Joseph Wright's off the circuit.
Oh no!
And Joseph Wright's in a circle.
Oh.
Joseph Wright's lost 2 positions.
Oh, no. Well, 6 is still a good finish. 6 will be, you should be pleased with that. Yeah. As Brian Van Buskirk has a little wobble. But let's go back to the main man. He's coming now to finish the his final lap. I think it's going to be it. The clock has run out. So coming into the final corner now. Into club. Onto the start finish straight. Yuri Kasdorp is the race winner for at Silverstone. Let's go back and have a look at Anders Meyer. I think there's a battle between Brian Maruska and Joseph Wright, but we'll see that in a moment. As Anders Meyer
slides to the final corner.
Brilliant, brilliant, and finishes in second. And Charles Bacchio, who I think will now finish third in the championship, or maybe he was second. I can't remember what we discussed now. It's coming around to finish his final lap to take the final spot on the podium in this forever changing conditions race. It's 4% race again. The rain has picked up a little again, and finishes third. Let's go and take a look at Dan Long. Dan Long, as he going to cross the line in fourth, is going to be the championship winner after Christian Maru retired out of this evening's race, unfortunately, and crosses the line and finishes fourth. Brian Van Buskirk takes fifth, and Joseph Wright takes sixth, and decides to take out his teammate in the process as he crosses the line.
I think Leslie Burlage lost control before he hit the line and then couldn't cross the line because his car expired.
Okay.
So Joseph was just giving a little help.
Ah, I see. Right. Fair enough. And Kristik Halili finishes seventh. Paulie Ahonen we'll continue to watch him to come and finish eighth. But that is the end of the race, Peter. A lot of activity there this evening. It's, especially with the weather conditions.
Yep.
Just threw up quite a few curveballs, didn't it, this evening?
Yep. Results we weren't expecting, and people retiring who we weren't expecting to, and I think it'll be interesting to see what the top 3 drivers have to say. Probably a lot of surprise, probably a lot of confusion. But yeah, overall, an interesting finale to our Race Department Grand Prix Championship season.
Indeed, indeed, and I'm hoping the drivers will have made their way to will be making their way to the green room soon. They're not quite there yet, so we'll take you through the. Do you want to tell you what, Peter? I've done enough talking tonight. I feel like I've done majority. Do you want to take us through the finish and the leaderboard?
I would do, but I've exited the game.
Useless. You're getting sacked in the morning. Okay, so your race winner and pole sitter Yuri Kasdorp finishes first. Anders Meyer second. In third, Charles Bacchio. Dan Long fourth. Brian Van Buskirk takes fifth spot. In sixth, Joseph Wright, best finish of the league. Well done, Joseph. Really impressed with that. It's a good finish. Kristik Halili seventh. Paulie Ahonen in eighth. Henry Jury ninth, as it disappears off my screen, but I took a screenshot. Eric Ogverk in 10th, Magnus Steinby 11th, Stephen Gibb finishing 12th. In 13th, you've got Leslie Burlage, 14th, Tobias Rona, 15th, Christian Maru. Matt Legale, one of the league organisations, these are the DNS, by the way, now. Matt Legale 16th, Simon Marshall 17th, Daniel Watkin 18th, Cole Little 19th, Anders Jensen 20th, Lorenzo Bonda 21st, Craig Patterson 22nd, and a disqualification for Christoph Madge. Rain was coming down one moment pretty hard, next moment not so much. Didn't quite know what was going on with the tyres, if I'm being totally honest with you, Peter, because they were all running slicks. So, but I think now it's time to go join the podium guys in the green room. So we're in the green room with the race winner Yuri Kasdorp. I don't know if I pronounced that surname right. Apologies if I haven't. Then Anders Meyer finishing in second, and Charles Bacchio third. Yuri, we'll start with yourself. Congratulations. You had a bit of a moment during the race, and you one of the drivers collided with you, Tobias Rona. Tell us what happened there.
That was actually a funny story. I'd rather not tell it, but Toby asked me how my tires were looking, and then I looked at my tires, hit the grass, and spun.
moment lapse of concentration. It's okay. I do it all the time. So, but that's why I'm not in these leagues. How were the conditions tonight? The rain was stopping and starting, and while I don't race much in R Factor 2, I'll be honest. And you know, are the slicks okay in these conditions?
Depends on the mod. Like it depends from car to car as well. For these cars, it seems to be the slicks are pretty decent in the wet. At the end, when it was getting really wet, it was getting really tricky. But
yeah,
under 30%, it's fine.
Okay, all right, okay. And how for you? Did you feel like you were, once you had the moment and you had your spin? Did you feel relatively in control? Did you think that you could get back into the lead?
Not really, no. I had massive flat spots and my whole rack was shaking, and I didn't think I'd get to the end on this set of tires, but.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on the race win. Anders Meyer finishing second. Is that? Be honest. Did you think you were going to get the top on the podium this week?
I haven't even dreamt about that. I started my first league event was actually 1 year ago on this track, so it's kind of like a 1 year gift for myself to get a podium. But yeah, the conditions were. It was just a drift race for me, the whole thing. When you break half a meter too late, you get into that wet again, and no, I had absolutely no control any time in the race.
It looked impressive from time to time, a little bit of Japanese drifting, but was it when that happened you were that close, and that's a hair from kind of being on the grass?
Yeah, before I started sim racing, I was doing sim drifting for several years, so I think some of that might help me a bit today. But it's not every slide that is controlled. Sometimes you get a little bit too wide and you try to nurse the car around the corner, but sometimes you lose it, and then you start sweating and start saying bad words, which is good. Other people don't hear, but you just have to try and stay in there.
Oh, I swear all the time when I'm sim racing because I'm absolutely useless. That's why I'm in the commentary box. So there's a reason for that. But yeah, congratulations. It didn't look easy out there in those conditions, and especially when we look on board, you can't tell if it's raining unless it's according to my screen. When it got to about 5 to 6% of rain, then I could actually start seeing the rain in the cockpit views, and I'm sure it's the same for you guys. You have to, and then when it did stop raining, the track was still wet, and you've got the spray in front of you. So. Yeah, congratulations. Strong finish. Good event for you. And then on the final step of the podium, Charles Bacchio. Charles, how was that race for you this evening? In a couple of words, how would you describe it?
I think the lesson for me tonight is that I should have played more dirt rally, because there was a drift race, not a tarmac race. It was really tough to keep the car on the racetrack, to be honest. I was on slicks. It wasn't raining too much, but still really sliding. The last 10 laps were awful. But somehow I still managed to keep it on track, so that was kind of fun, I gotta say, in a way. So yeah, that's about it. Pretty uneventful race for me, just keeping it on track. I think that paid off in the end.
Yeah, so unfortunately none of you get to win the championship, but the man that has won the championship is also in the green room with us this evening. Mr. Dan Long, congratulations. You are the RDGPC champions of 2018. How does that feel?
Pretty good. That was probably one of the toughest races I think I've ever done. It was absolutely nuts from start to finish. 45 minutes with a car that was off-centered and front left damage, and I feel sorry for Chris because he put an incredible race in, and I mean I don't really know what happened. I haven't seen it, but he drove a cracking race. It was just so tough out there, just keeping the car on, and yeah, pretty good. Yeah, so, and I think that means that, Charles, you finish, I think we worked out, you finished second overall as well, don't you? I think now. I'm terrible with maths.
I think so. I think so. I haven't done any calculations.
Yeah, congratulations on that. And I think Paul Johanan then finishes third overall as well. As long as there's not any, challenges and stewards' decisions, anything that could ruin that. But, Dad, it did look like you were struggling. We were watching from afar as you were chasing down Mr. Wright at one point, who had a solid race this evening himself, kept his nose clean. Looked like you were struggling there. How did you lose we didn't see what happened, I don't think. How did you get damaged your front wing?
So I came out of Maggots and Beckett's and onto Hanger, and I hit third gear, and then the rear just sort of came around, and I hit the inside barrier on the left-hand side and hit the front left. I managed to scrub enough speed off so that it wasn't too badly damaged. I mean, I tried to go on for sort of 3 or 4 laps after that, but the car was so bad through the tight hairpins at the start of the lap that I pitted in. I didn't fix all my damage. I had something like 90 seconds of repairs. I fixed 45 seconds worth in the end, and just hopes it was enough just to keep in there and keep the pressure on.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, and then that helped you with the fact that Charles didn't finish. Not Charles, sorry. Chris Maru, didn't finish. That it kind of took a bit of pressure off you. But you look like you were still pushing though, and you were still making mistakes, or was that just the car really more than you?
It was probably the car more than me. I mean, I wasn't really pushing. I tried to keep to a sort of a constant pace as much as you can in that kind of conditions, and just some of the times the car was just doing some weird stuff. I mean, the line was pretty much a whole wet track by the end of that race. There wasn't really a dry line, so actually finding braking points and turning points was pretty difficult. And also, Joseph, he did a really good race. I mean, that is, I feel for him, because 4th place all the way until sort of the second sector of the final lap, that's just, it's difficult to take. And he drove a really good race,
That's what happens when you're a bit of a bottle job, so...
I'm here, you idiot.
I knew that'd get a response from him. But no, once again, congratulations. So what are you doing to celebrate this evening? Have you got a bottle of champagne to open, or are you just going to... Bank holiday tomorrow, so you're going to have a couple of beers to celebrate? What are you going to do?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I might have a little bit. Yeah.
Nice,
but
I'm
probably going to watch the race back. Probably going to watch the race back and see all the action unfold. I've heard it was a really good watch, so... Yeah, I'm probably going to stick that on.
I'll be honest, it wasn't, for the conditions made it interesting. The racing, the sort of second half of the race, would you agree, Peter, wasn't the most exciting we've seen, was it?
No, it definitely didn't top Interlagos.
No, it didn't. No, Interlagos was a peak for us, but the conditions did make it challenging, and raining one moment, not the next, and then the spray and everything else. I felt for Tobias Rona because he got hit by Yuri Kazdorp there, but that's just racing. But but congratulations on your championship win. Congratulations to our top 3 this evening. I want to take a moment to thank Mr. Joseph Wright for all of his help with the graphics and everything else, and making sure that I'm operational. So thank you to him, and thank you to Matt Legale also for his assistance with running the league this time round. And thank you to Mr. Peter Lee for joining me in the commentary box for this championship. Thank you, Peter. Really appreciate it.
No problem. It's been very entertaining.
I come up with some weird and wonderful, I think, Paulisms, I think we'll call them.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for everybody that's been watching. Thank you very much to the drivers that have taken part. It's been an absolute pleasure doing my first commentary and leading the way. So thank you very much. Don't forget, racedepartment.com. If you want to check us out, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. You can find a great bunch of people. Come and join in. Come and do some club racing. Maybe come and join some leagues in the future. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you good night. And if you're in the UK, have a great bank holiday. Enjoy the thunderstorms tomorrow. And it's going to be a wet one tomorrow afternoon. So I hope you've got your raincoats ready and your sandbags and everything else, because I think there might be some flooding. But until next time, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening. Good night.